every record contains its own unique mix of instruments. Obviously, you'll have your rhythm section, your drum, your bass, some great guitars, some keyboards, all that kind of stuff there. But then, sometimes, there's an extra element where a horn section can just take a record and bring it up to the next level. So today, we are going to kick some serious brass. This is our regular look at what goes on inside the grooves. It's a program that we call Platter Chatter. From the set of Goin Vinyl, this is Platter Chatter, the web series that features classic trends and classic tracks. I'm your host, Bill Robert, and before we get underway today, I'd just like to remind all of you on YouTube there, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Help us grow this channel here because we're trying to get out to more people, and obviously having more likes and subscribes helps us to do that. And also, it helps us judge what kind of shows you like. If we got more likes for a certain subject, maybe we'll go back to that a little quicker than other subjects. I mean, you never know. But anyway, give us a shout, give us a shout out, like, subscribe. And if you would like to see a different type of show, if you have a suggestion maybe, all you have to do, send us a comment right here on YouTube or send me an email. It's billthedj@goinvinyl.com. You can also check us out on Facebook. On Facebook, we're there under Goin Vinyl TV. So here we go. Today, those records that stand out because obviously, they're catchy, they have great melodies, but those horns, you just cannot deny the impact a great horn section can have on a song. Some great horn parts here. So we've got some expected acts in this episode. Obviously, when you think horn section, you think, let's see, in the era that I usually talk about, you're thinking Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Chicago. Yeah, don't worry, they're in this one, Earth, Wind, and Fire too. But we're going to start off a little bit off the beaten path. This is a group that lasted for a bunch of years. They put out, I believe, 6 albums. And their lead singer actually wound up being a very much in-demand film score composer. We're talking about Danny Elfman here. The group is Oingo Boingo. This is from their second full-length album, Nothing to Fear. It's called Insects.
Insects in my hair, insects everywhere. Insects in my hair. Watching insects make romance. Insects make me want to dance, dance, dance. They make me want to dance, dance, dance. Those insects make me want to dance.
Yeah, when it comes to the chorus of the song, I'm not sure whether or not it's the insects that make me want to dance or it's the horns that make me want to dance, because they just kick in there. And it is such a great part of this song. And at the time when their original lineup was together, they had a mad horn section. It was Dale Turner, Leon Schneiderman, and one of my favorite personal names, Sam Sluggo Phipps. Those 3 guys played some great horns for Oingo Boingo back in the day. And that one was from Nothing to Fear, and that one was called Insects. Great song. I love that. And once again, basically, like I said, the theme of this whole episode is it's the horns that make the song. And the songs are great anyway, but the horns just give that little push over the summit there, and that's where they come up with it. So now we're going to get to one of the bands that I teased coming in. We're talking about, of course, Chicago. And Chicago, first of all, they came off this first album, Chicago Transit Authority. It was huge, but obviously they got into the legal trouble, so they had to change their name. So the second album they just put out as Chicago, which technically was their second self-titled album, although later on it's become known as Chicago 2 to everybody. And this song was actually first part of a 7-part suite called Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan. And you talk about, there's a lot of horns on here, because one of the members of Chicago's horn section, trombonist Jimmy Pankow, he wrote this song, Make Me Smile.
Life is lovely, oh, when you're near me. Tell me you will stay, make me smile. Living life is just a game, so they say.
I mean, from those beginning flourishes to like what comes through with the verses into the chorus, and then that ending, that dun 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 dun, it's just incredible. Some great horn work there. Chicago, Make Me Smile. And by the way, this was their first top 10 single off the second album, actually topped out at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. So I'm not the only one who was captivated by the horns in this song or the vocals or anything. At the time, by the way, the vocals, that one was pretty much the grittier vocals. That was Terry Kath handling the vocals there, and just such a great sounding song, and it's a song we love there. From 1970, it is Chicago and Make Me Smile. Now, once again, we're going to go off the beaten path, but this is one where it's their music was kind of known as ska punk. It's kind of a fusion between the two. Lots of horns, very energetic, had that kind of ska, kind of reggae feel to it, but then they added to it. The name of the group is Fishbone, and this one is called Party at Ground Zero.
Party at Ground Zero, every move is starring you, and the world will turn to flowing pink paper stew.
The horn section of Angelo Moore, Walter Kibbe, and Chris Dowd. Fishbone and Party at Ground Zero. That was off their first record, which, by the way, was an EP. They didn't actually come out. Their first full LP was In Your Face. And by the way, lots of horns in that one. The horns were literally in your face on that one. But that one there was the first track there, and it was a long song. It's like 6.5 minutes long. And once again, just doing the 30 seconds here, it's just doesn't do the song really justice. I just want to give you a little sample. But check out the Fishbone EP. If you like horns, if you like ska music or something energetic like that, just check it out because it's really pretty fantastic. And a lot of catchy stuff there. Some great other tunes too. VTTLO TFDG, but basically it stands for Voyage to the Land of the Freeze-Dried Godzilla Farts. Then there's Ugly, Lion-Ass Bitch. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there. It's just great. But that one there is the first one and really comes in great. It's Party at Ground Zero. Definitely the catchiest nuclear holocaust song I have ever heard. And that's basically Fishbone. They're in full flight. And in this particular one, they're doing different tempos. They're going off and doing different things within that one song. But it's just, it's great. And yeah, the horns, just once again, it's a great record anyway, but the horns just put it up on an even higher pedestal there. So talk about songs in which horns are integral. I'm going to talk about the songs of Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, come on. They've got such a great horn section. In fact, if you remember right, the horn section from Earth, Wind, and Fire wound up playing on some of Phil Collins' stuff too, like I Cannot Believe It's True, It Doesn't Matter to Me, stuff like that, in some of his albums. And then, he actually, other things that Phil Collins produced, he actually brought the Phoenix horns in too. So, I mean, it's a great horn section, but they cut their teeth with Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was like the first thing in the group. And this one comes from 1975. Now, this is off an album. This is interesting. It's mostly a live album, but they added a couple of studio tracks. This is one of them. It's a classic, Sing a Song. What is there about this horn section that's not to love? They just sound so amazing, and they just bring up this song so much. I mean, it's a great song anyway, but they just, once again, just putting it up to that higher level. The Earth, Wind, and Fire horns there, and Sing a Song from 1975 from the Gratitude LP, which, as I mentioned, was mostly live, but there were a couple of studio tracks. There was this one, and also Can't Hide Love, which also had some great horns in it as well. But keep in mind, okay, this one here especially, you just hear those horns and you're just going with it, and people love this song. Okay, Hot 100 is number 5. Hot Soul Singles, it was number 1. And by the way, Can't Hide Love hit number 11 on the pop charts too. So both of the studio tracks from this Gratitude live album did very, very well indeed. And Earth, Wind, and Fire should show a lot of gratitude to that horn section of theirs. Of course they did, but such a great part of that group. So now we're going to go from that to what I could arguably say is my favorite rock song with horns of all time. The horns come out of the gate. They do call and response with the vocals, and the first ending, there's a false ending and then just an extended jam, but the false ending is what they decided to use to end the single, and it's just such a powerful way to close it out on an ice cold ending. The group is Blood, Sweat, and Tears. The song, Lucretia McEvil.
Your game, hard luck and trouble, bound to be your claim to fame. Tail shaking, home breaking, trucking through town, each and every country your name.
I mean, come on. The horns in this song, first of all, it's the first thing you hit play, the first thing you hear, the horns just come at you. Dun, 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 and then the drums kick in and the horns just keep going. Then you have the great call and response. You've got those gritty David Clayton Thomas vocals, and then the horns punch in between each phrase, between each verse. It's just so good. And I mean, then you've got horns in the middle. And actually, the song has a false ending. Now, if you listen to the full album version, at one point there is a horn flourish, and it just ends with this high step up, ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum. And then it pauses for a second, and then you just start to hear, the guitars again, and they basically do like a big jam thing, and just it keeps on going for a little while. But a lot of times with Columbia, obviously, when it came to Chicago and Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they like to chop the crap out of songs to make them radio edits. And in this particular case, they weren't really challenged because they knew where they didn't have to cut the jam part for the ending. All you would have to do is basically just go to the end where you have that horn, just da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. And boom, that's a great cold ending for the single, for the radio edit. And obviously, you can keep the needle down if you listen to the album, just continue with the jam there. But there you go. Just from their third album, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3 in 1970. This single actually topped out at number 29 on the Billboard chart. Once again, just an amazing, amazing trip there. And that'll conclude our episode on The Horns Make the Song, and some songs that were pretty terrific songs anyway, but the addition of the horns just pushed it over the top, just to push it right over the cliff and made it even more memorable, more special. And that'll do it for this rather horn-centric edition of Platter Chatter. But don't forget, we'll come back with more, and obviously, if you want to see more of those, then all you have to do is hit like and subscribe. Subscribe gets you in the pipeline, and you'll be notified anytime we come up with new stuff. And, of course, if you want to maybe let us know how we're doing as far as what type of music you would like, well, if we check the likes of the show, the shows with the more likes will probably gravitate towards those particular subjects. So that's something. Or if you have a suggestion for a subject too, if there's something that you want us to do, a certain type of song or maybe a certain trend in music that we could give you some examples to, all you have to do is either drop us a comment here at right here on YouTube or send me an email. It is BillTheDJ@GoinVinyl.com. You can also check us out on Facebook too. Our Facebook page is Goin Vinyl TV. And that'll wrap up this episode of Platter Chatter. Once again, we'll come back with more, so stay tuned as we bring you more of the vinyl goodness from the land where the platters still matter and the records still rock, and hey, we still have a lot more to go through. So that'll do it for now, but by all means, come back next time we come your way with an edition of Platter Chatter. I'm Bill Robert. Thank you very much for tuning in today.